On January 4th, 2023, I went from the full-on swing of the pro hockey season with my team, the Motor City Rockers, to having life-changing hip surgery to fix the biggest injury that I've ever faced in my lifetime. In this video, I want to explain everything from the pre-operation to the surgery itself, my first month of recovery from learning to walk again to physio, to moving my entire life from Winnipeg to Vancouver so I can start preparing for the start of next season. This video is sponsored by Sheath Underwear, and it starts right now. At the end of the day, I'm doing what feels right for me and chasing down my dream. Okay, now what hip surgery are we talking about? Well, I'm getting cam hip surgery, and it's common in hockey players, more common in goalies, and extremely common in large goalies. Now, I'm 6'5" and I play goalie, so I meet that description quite nicely. Now, the surgery is to fix a bone growth on my femur, which makes it basically impossible to internally rotate my hip. And in case you didn't know, internal rotation is essentially every single movement that you make as a goaltender. So this is a big issue and a huge problem that I've had for a while. Now, the surgeon also believes that my labrum is torn. To what extent, we don't know. And there's going to be some cartilage issues, but more on that later, because this video begins on January 3rd, 2023. One day before my surgery. So it is January 3rd right now. So today's the day before I get my cam hip surgery. I got to go into the hospital to get a CT scan to get everything kind of mapped out for the surgeon tomorrow. Said he literally has a map and a game plan of what everything looks like the day before surgery. All right, CT scan is complete. Surgery is tomorrow. Years ago when I was playing Junior B, I had a groin tear, and that groin tear kept me out for 4 or 5, almost 6 months of playing time. And that was the start of realizing that I had the hip issues turning into a knee issue, which I had for a very short period of time at VIU when I was playing college, although it didn't really matter because I never played. When I went to camp with the Columbus River Dragons, and then it came back shortly after my first year in Sweden, and now to the point where the only thing that was able to fix it the last 13 months was steroids. And the last month and a bit of the season, after the cortisone started to wear off my knee, I started to develop a lot of low back issues. And even now, I'm still feeling these low back issues. I miss playing hockey, believe it or not. It's been about a month and a half since I skated. To get back to playing hockey, back to doing what I love, and back to my career. And to give you an idea of how limited my range of motion truly was, my trainer Brian and I wanted to try to quantify it for you.
What do you think that is?
10?
13.3 degrees.
Okay.
That motion. That's the good one. Your doctor wasn't far off.
Oh, that's 6'8".
6.8. His doctor said 5 degrees. His surgeon was going to get him all the way out to here.
Well, that's a lot.
You're going to see in the video after.
Even in my perspective right now, that's a lot.
Whenever he talks about his knee issues, the knee issue in this knee mostly stems from his hip. So it's not because he went up and down too many times in a butterfly or something like that. It's actually because this knee has had to do so much extra work because of the damage that is in that hip. So if his labrum is torn, the amount of pressure off this knee should create a significant difference in how that feels day to day. It may not go ever back to being perfect just because of the length of time now that it's been. That's the muscle that's protruding.
I know.
Mine doesn't look like that.
What does yours look like? Yeah, okay.
Mine doesn't feel like
That's
that.
night and day, yeah.
It feels like that only after 2 a.m.
Woke up in a ditch, waffle. Fast forward to the next morning, and today is the start of what I can only describe to you as the start of becoming the goalie that I believe I can become. Hip surgery day.
Part of the reason why you're stiff is it's just the bones themselves are banging into each other. I want you to be able to play goalie and not need cortisone injection. You're going to definitely have some aches and pains as you go through all this. It's not going to be the smoothest sail in the world, but it should be much, much better than what you're currently going through.
I always forget when people are general.
Hold on, I got it. I got it. There we go. Nope, there we go. Okay, I got it the second time. I feel like Ric Flair, the nature boy. You ever heard of Ric Flair?
No, I haven't.
No? He's the kiss stealing, the wheeling dealing, jet flying son of a gun. And I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. I feel fine though. I don't know. Woo! Oh, it's gonna be cold outside. Goddamn! Don't bust my other hip. Oh, it's cold. It is cold. It is cold. I'm freezing.
You look pretty messed up. Okay, careful. What are you doing? Travis has been home 5 minutes. He's pretty loopy still, but his hip is fixed.
But my 3-inch hammer isn't fixed.
Travis, what do you want to eat?
Popeye's chicken.
It was just like what we expected. So you had a labrum tear from the front, sort of traversing around the front towards the side of the hip joint, and I freed that all up and got it fixed with 4 anchors and some sutures. So it was nice and stable, and I got a nice reduction and a nice fix. So I was pretty happy with that. The cartilage on the pelvis side, the acetabulum, was a little bit banged up. We grade these injuries from grade 1, which is minor, to grade 4, which is very severe. And so yours is probably grade 2. The cartilage on the head of the femur was perfect and normal, so that wasn't an issue. And then I got that big chunk of bone on the front of the femur, the cam lesion. I got that burnt down quite nicely. That took me some time and was a bunch of work, but we persisted and got a nice correction there.
Now, about 2 days after the surgery, I finally got to remove my bandages and see the damage for the first time. And to my surprise, it actually wasn't that bad. Only 3 puncture points where they insert all the tools and the 6 stitches that it took to close everything up. So it really doesn't look as bad as you would think. However, a few days later, everything slowly started to bruise over pretty bad and the whole thing almost turned purple. So as you can see here in the picture, the next few days were a big adjustment. I spent most of my time sitting in chairs, making coffee, as you can see here, doing curls, shoulder pressing my crutches since I had nothing else to do in my free time, more curls, more coffee. I mean, day-to-day tasks like even cooking for myself were a bit of a challenge since I wasn't able to put any weight on my right leg, but damn, was I eating pretty good. Steak and eggs at the absolute breakfast of champions, if you ask me. And yeah, make sure that steak's done rare. Anyway, this here is my cooling unit, and I basically wrap it around my hip a few times a day, and is used to bring down any inflammation in my hip. And I spent a lot of time sleeping the first few days after surgery. I think I was sleeping anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day, which is understandably so considering the shock that my body is probably going through. But about 5 days after my surgery, it was back to work. So today is the first day in about a week I left the house. I got my crutches. I can walk without them. I'm technically speaking not supposed to, but I can do it. Yeah, look forward to starting skating in June, hopefully.
Good job. Careful.
Dog in the stairs.
Well, there can't be dog shit. There's been no dogs here since last week.
I'm technically speaking, I'm not supposed to lift my leg. You have no idea how many things require lifting your leg on a daily basis. So this here is Mike, and Mike is business partners with Brian, my trainer, and he's doing my 2 physio sessions for this week before I leave Winnipeg in a few days. And even though it is less than a week after my surgery, Mike and I are trying to get my leg basically moving again, mostly by him moving around for me, but we did a bunch of stretching, a little bit of massage work. I also did a bunch of these heel exercises, which felt pretty good, and most importantly, to my surprise and probably everybody watching this video, 5 days after surgery, I was on the stationary bike. Now, I may have not been going very fast, and I was probably going slower than a 90-year-old in a senior's home, but damn did it feel good to get my legs and my hips moving. And fast forward 2 days, and we were doing physio again. So this is session 2 of physio, and yes, I feel like I've gone back on a time machine to 5 years old because I cannot put my shoes on by myself without a little bit of assistance from a shoehorn here. But outside of that, we did more massage work. Mike was moving my leg around to try to get some motion again. We spent a lot of time working on just walking again normally. I mean, I'm compensating so much trying to not put weight on my hip, so we were trying to correct that. Now, at the end of the day, we are a ways away from getting to where I want to be, which is skating. And when I say that, I mean we are a long ways away. But I could feel night and day different from when I walked into physio to when I was leaving today. I felt like my walk significantly improved, and I felt like I had way more motion leaving than when I came. Now, this right here is my amazing girlfriend, Victoria, and the next day she flew from Vancouver to meet me in Winnipeg because, well, we had a train to catch. Originally, I was going to fly Air Canada back to Vancouver, but after requesting a few accommodations to help me with, boarding, seat selection, my post-surgery requirements, Air Canada basically told me to go pound sand. So I got a voucher for that flight so I can use it another time, and then I ended up buying a VRL sleeper berth ticket, which was about $500, discounted from $1,000. And I submitted all my surgical paperwork and the notes to my doctors, and they basically upgraded me to a $3,000 private cabin for 2, free of charge, allowed me to bring Victoria again for free. And I just can't say thank you enough to Via for allowing us to take this trip, have it be so enjoyable, for just having room for my hips the whole time to get comfortable. The staff were beyond accommodating, helping me get constant supplies of ice from my cooling unit throughout the entire trip. All in all, I literally could not be happier with my choice to take a 2.5-day journey by train. Now, why Vancouver? My goalie coach, Pascal Villana, this man right here, he is based in Vancouver. So whenever I start skating again, he is within arm's reach. Also, Vancouver is significantly nicer than Winnipeg. And Monday was the next day back at physio, and it started just like any of the other days. A good cup of joe, followed by Victoria helping me put my shoes on because I'm still struggling to do that. Also, we had to go grocery shopping and get some goods, and well, yep, I get a scooter because I'm technically handicapped, so this was kind of fun. And then Victoria drove me to downtown Vancouver and dropped me off at Footbridge Physio. Now, this here is Derek, and he's going to be my physiotherapist for probably the next 2+ months, help me get back ready for the start of training in the gym full-time, hopefully for April. And very similar to what Mike and I did in Winnipeg. It was a lot of helping move my leg around, helping stretch me out a bit, a little bit of massage work, but it was also getting me moving the muscle around my hip for the first time by my own. And we're still working on getting me walking 100%. I'd say we're probably like 90-95% there at this point in time. And much to my surprise, I was able to put all my weight on my right leg for the first time in, I guess, close to 2 weeks. Now, fast forward 2 days later, and I got my ass on the public transit because I don't own a vehicle, and I headed down to physio again. Now, today we worked on a bit of hinging at the hip. Now, it didn't feel great right away, but we made a couple of adjustments, a little bit of stretch work, a little bit of massage, kind of adjusting the posture and my knee positioning. It is feeling better, and I'd say we even got my walk to probably about 95% today, which I think is a big improvement. But I think a lot of that is because earlier on in the day, I got my stitches removed. Take a look.
Goalie.
Oh, that explains it. I shouldn't have asked.
But I gotta say, I could not have gotten the stitches removed if I wasn't wearing an amazing pair of Sheath Underwear. I mean, Doc also told me that he was in the market for a pair, and he said, should I get a pair of Sheath? And I said, absolutely. He said, why? And I said, well, the cooling bamboo mesh technology is unreal. But my favorite feature is their dual pouch technology. It's a separated, segregated compartment that keeps your dick and your balls separated so they breathe, smell better, they cannot touch, and they're not sticking together on the side of your legs. So when you're on your next date night, you can thread the needle to put your biscuit into the basket, if you know what I'm saying. And you can do that too. When you go to sheathunderwear.com, you got to use the code TRAVSUCKS for 20% off your order. That is TRAVSUCKS, 20% off your order at sheathunderwear.com, and you're going to get a pair of the best underwear that money can buy. And I also want to say thank you so much to Sheath for sponsoring this video.
Is there any chance you could send me the photos and the video that you got from the surgery?
Yeah, I'm not sure. No one's ever asked me. They don't typically let us send things via email, especially like sensitive stuff in your photos. But I'll definitely be able to get you some, and I can write a little explanation or something. It's the way you're looking at it. It's not always intuitive if you don't stare at the hips very often. I caught a video podcast the other day. Yeah, it's nice. I use some nice things about our group here at Van Am, so I know the nurses and the staff here really appreciate hearing some of that positive feedback. So
really?
Yeah, it was good.
Did you check out the podcast, or somebody sent it to you?
I think one of my buddies sent it to me, just saying, "Are you the guy?" Because I'm the only one at Van Am who does this surgery, so it's pretty obvious that your surgeon is. Bye-bye. See you, Travis.
He's so good looking. He's such a good looking doctor. That's my surgeon. That's my surgeon.
As far as skating goes, so they're telling me June is a very good rough estimate for when I'm going to get back skating and actual goal equipment. Probably get on and skate sometime in May. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little upset that I got the surgery just because I feel, the inner hockey values are coming out of you can't quit in the team. You got to do what's best for the team, help the team, stay true, and finish out the mission. And I failed to do so by leaving in December and then going to get the hip surgery. A lot of people don't understand what I was going through. Even guys on the team didn't understand. Guys telling me, just go to physio, just go to athletic therapy. And the reality is I was in so much pain prior to getting the hip surgery. I could literally feel the torn labrum being pinched off in the socket. And it's just excruciating pain when you're skating for an hour and a half every single day at practice. You're doing the road trips. We're sitting on the bus just tight for 12 hours. We're getting there. Coach says, hop on the ice. This was destroying my entire lower body for the 2.5 months that I was in Motor City. But selfishly, I know that I made the right decision because I'm going to now be 100% healthy for the start of next season and be able to truly become the goaltender that I want to be. I'm going to have the internal rotation that I've never had before. There's a lot of good things coming. It's just there's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made to get to that point. To my teammates, to our management, I'm sure that they are a little bit upset that I went and got hip surgery, but I know that I'm a much more valuable asset next season healthy than continuing on the way that I was. I hope that everybody watching this video understands that I generally didn't have anything more to give to the team. I generally didn't have anything more that I could do to help myself outside of get surgery. I mean, I was taking steroid injections left and right just to be able to skate because all I wanted to do was help my team and play for my team. Fed contracts are on a year-to-year basis, so technically I'm not going to be able to skate before this season ends. I'll be skating for next season. Wherever I end up going, if it's back with Motor City, if it's a different team, if it's over to Europe, wherever it is, I'm going to be healthy and going to be able to give my 100%. There is no excuses. The hip has been fixed, and I'm going to become the goalie that I think that I can become. Thank you to everybody who has supported me through the season in Motor City into this new chapter, this new challenging period, and coming out for next season. And I will see you next time with hopefully some more positive news and a better update. And one final note before we finish. I am selling these limited edition rookie cards from my time in Motor City, as well as some cards from last year in Sweden. If you want a set, it's $10 for 5 cards. They can be signed or left as is, and all you gotta do is just send me a PayPal or an e-transfer for $10 to travisridgen35@gmail.com, as you see here on the screen. It helps to support me a little bit while I'm doing physio, because obviously physio ain't cheap, but I thought it was just kind of a cool way to kind of get some, I guess, merch out in the world that's not really merch. So, and also make sure if you do send that e-transfer PayPal that you got to email me your shipping address as well. But I am aiming to do a new video every other Sunday, potentially every single Sunday. So hit the subscribe button for more updates on when and where I'll be playing, when I'm going to be skating again, how this process goes. I want to say thank you so much to everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.